What up guys, today we're going to be talking about how strong is Cosmic King Thor. We're going to be going through all of his feats from his comic book run, just called Thor 2020, and an additional run which I forgot what the name of it was, so sorry for that. I'll probably put the name of it in the description down below. But in that comic, he just basically looks for Thanos and some information on him. But there's some interesting things there. But mainly I focused on his own comic. I know there was a bunch of other stories where he was in the Avengers 2018 comic book run. He was also in Starship Hulk, Immortal Hulk run, and a couple of other story events. I think also in I forgot what it was called, but it had Carnage. It was like Maximum Carnage or something like that, where Carnage was getting these codex from all the other previous Venom hosts, and he was using it to bring Null down. So I didn't touch upon those. I know the stories of those, but I just haven't touched upon those. I mainly focused on these two because these are directly linked to his powers. Now, if there's additional feats from those that you guys want me to check out, I could definitely do that. But these are the ones that I got, and I think I've got a pretty good gist of his power already. Also, I'm going to be going through this video talking about, is he really outerversal or multiversal? Is he just universal? What level of power does he really rank in? Obviously, I'm talking about how powerful he is, but I want to see to what level, because when I was watching Jobbers and Goon's video, which gave me the idea to make this video, he stated that Cosmic King Thor is outerversal easily, and then he stated in another video, which that was the one where I got the idea from, it was how strong would Goku be if he was Galactus's herald, with basically having the cosmic power, and he stated he would be very powerful, but Thor is still more powerful than him. So Thor getting the cosmic force was a lot more impressive than Goku. So I wanted to check it out, and I did. So we're gonna be talking about how powerful he is. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, the first feat that we see in the beginning of the issue run is Thor throwing Mjolnir throughout the 10 realms and then bringing it back. And he states something pretty interesting. He says, "Did thou see that, Lady Sif?" And she said, "Yes, Thor, I see everything." He said, "All 10 realms, one throw. Odin himself could not make that." So he basically got Mjolnir and threw it through all 10 of the realms, landing in Midgard, and then he brought it back to him pretty quickly too, which is quite impressive. It showcases a great amount of strength to be able to throw Mjolnir, not only pretty hard, but hard enough to go through all 10 of the realms and then come back to him. And he even stated his father Odin couldn't do that. So this is a feat beyond Odin. Now, I don't know how strong this would make him, but it is still pretty an impressive feat to showcase. Now, after this, we have the arrival of Galactus. He falls down and he's basically beaten and depowered, and Thor is wondering what the hell is happening. What is Galactus doing here? Why is he severely damaged? And then since Galactus was basically out of commission and knocked out, he couldn't really explain what happened. He did mention a little bit about a black winter, and Thor is wondering what the hell is a black winter. He's talking about a star plague or something like that. So now he's confused. He's like, what is he talking about? Black plague, black winter, star plague. And since he can't, tell him what happened, his heralds have to explain to him. Silver Surfer, who at this point is considered the Black Silver Surfer or something like that, or Fallen Silver Surfer, something like that. Him and Cosmic Ghost Rider both basically explain to him what's happening. First, Silver Surfer states, "How much do you know of Galactus' birth? How he came to be what he is now?" Now, we know the conventional story of Galactus, where he was a scientist researching, the Big Bang, and then something happened, or I think that was maybe the guy that became Anti-Monitor. It's confusing because Anti-Monitor and Galactus' backstory are kind of similar. So what happened was that old universe got destroyed. He survived the previous universe before this one that got created, so he's a being before time, and because of that, he changed from a scientist to some galactic entity who needs to devour planets to stay alive, and he created his own heralds. But Cosmic Ghost Rider and Silver Surfer explain a little more about what happened, and Cosmic Ghost Rider says he was an explorer of the galaxy before ours, Glen of the planet Ta. Some unknown cataclysm killed the universe, and he was the sole survivor. He was transformed into, no, not unknown, the Star Plague, the Blight Storm. the wrought blizzard, many names but one truth is the one true ending, the Black Winter. So basically, he was Cosmic Ghost Rider is basically talking about how the previous universe got wiped out or got destroyed. He was a scientist, and now he came into this world and he got transformed. So this is quite impressive to showcase that he's a being that transcends time, or not transcends time, but is before time itself in another realm, and it was able to survive the destruction of his own universe, which is a universal level feat. And then they go on a little bit more as Silver Surfer explains to him, we do not, the Black Winter killed the universe before ours, Thor, and as Galactus devours worlds, the winter comes for for realities. Okay, he said he must feed, and many times as his herald I gained knowledge of 5 very special planets. So basically what he's explaining to Thor is that the Black Winter in the previous universe wiped it out, and that's what created this one, and Galactus was able to survive it, but now he's coming back, or whatever this entity is, it's coming back to wipe out this reality. So it's a universal destroying event. So it's a universal level being at the very least, and it's coming for them. And he said throughout this entire time that he's been the herald of Galactus. He found 5 special planets that of Galactus can absorb. He can fight back against the Black Winter. So the Black Winter is around universal levels range of power, and even Galactus is not on his level. He needs to get a absurd power boost by these 5 planets, meaning that for Galactus to be universal level, he needs a power boost to get that, which he's going to be getting it throughout this comic book run. And he says 5 special planets, worlds which are rare and unique energies would give Galactus power beyond imagination. So he basically found that, and he said, however, Galactus is the only one who's ever survived the Black Winter twice now. So he survived it last time when he came from the other universe, and he survived it now, which completely damaged him though and depowered him, and this is the way to bring his power back. So he's strong enough to, even if he can't beat this universal threat, he's able to survive it at least. So he showcases great power in that regard, and now they're going to give him the power to get strong enough to beat him. So they had that whole thing, and then they had they explained a little bit more, and he said then we have an explanation through Galactus' mind. He said, once when I was Glenn, I watched the universe die before my eyes, and I saw nothing. I had not yet seen the cosmic wonders I know today, so it appeared to me as a great blackness, a void as I could not fathom such things with a mortal mind. So he's saying previously when he saw it, there was a big looking black hole thing that was sucking it up. So that's how kind of the Black Winter looks like when it comes to devour these worlds. It opens up like a portal, and then it absorbs it and destroys it within, and he himself didn't know. And then after this, as Thor goes to Galactus to say, I'm going to help you out. Galactus says, okay, I'll transform you into a herald of mine. This is where he gets his power boost. So already at this point, he was the king of Asgard. He took over his father's throne, and he had his own Thor force, which we've seen before with, Runic King Thor, which basically he got the Odin force. Which he basically got the Odin Force, and it transformed into his own, which is the Thor Force. So he has the Thor Force combined in with the Cosmic Force from Galactus giving it to him, which is quite powerful. And then we have a little bit of more explanation on the Black Winter and showcasing of what it does. As it arrives, it drops black snowfall, ash, and whatever it touches, it basically literally disintegrates. And it says right here, that falls across your universe. You will scream in praise to your gods, and will clasp your hands and hope that your noble defenders will arrive. So basically, every place that it goes to, there's nothing anybody can do about it. It literally touches upon it and just disintegrates everything, getting rid of it, and people wish to their gods. Now, this is quite interesting because later on they show something that was interesting. I did remember hearing something about this, and possibly crossover, but this was all the way back in 2020. So this was around 3 years ago, not too far ago, because comic books, they do this thing where they take quite a bit of time to do big events that they're leading up to. I mean, this started off in 2020, and they're still taking time to lead up into the big Thanos event. But this is interesting because we go to a specific universe that you guys might notice. There's a building structure that you might notice, and it shows a couple of figures that you also might notice, and it states a couple of interesting things. Your gods will arrive: a sun god, a god of emerald light, a god of dark perhaps, and a god of ocean, of speed, and I think a goddess warrior. I forgot what else they stated. But yeah, so this, as you guys can tell, this is the DC universe, which is quite interesting that not only did the Black Winter affect, the Marvel universes, which you would expect, but it even affected universes that are outside, or realms outside of the DC, Marvel universe into the DC universe. You see the Daily Planet there, Superman flying, the blue and red figure, obviously the Sun God, makes sense, he gets his power from sun. Emerald God, Green Lantern, Dark God perhaps, which is basically Batman. Then there's the God of the Ocean, which is Aquaman, and the God of Speed, which is Flash. And you can clearly see it. Now this is quite impressive because not only does it affect universes within the Marvel universes, but outside of it. And there's different scaling to Marvel and DC universes. So this will put it even beyond regular universal scaling. So this could be Universal or Universal Plus or multi-universal. I'm not gonna say it's multiversal itself, but it is crazy. And some people might argue that this might be even outerversal because this is affecting another realm outside of the dimension. But remember, the Black Winter is not within the Marvel. It could be argued that it's not within the Marvel universe itself. It's just a force that was outside of it, coming in, attacking it, and damaging it. This doesn't make it outerversal per se because it's still wiping out just a universe from a different fictional writing point. And people are arguing that they might have a DC Marvel might be connected because outside of the source wall, they stated there's other realms there, and this could be one of them. There's the multiverse, the dark multiverse and stuff in DC, and then there's the other ones. So this is still impressive. I wouldn't put it at outerversal, but I'll put it at definitely universal, or universal plus and beyond that. And then they go on to explain a little bit more. It will not be enough, for they will too look into the eyes of the Black Winter, and they will see the stone-faced avatar of their one true end. For them, their Omega, the one who is, and there is staring at the enroaching dark. These mighty heroes will do whatever everyone before them has done. So basically, here's also another interesting thing. They show the representation that we've seen quite a bit of a hand grabbing, a galaxy, but it's supposed to be a representation of the universe. And they mention that right here that for they will look into the eyes of the Black Winter, and they will see the stone-faced avatar of their one true end, the one with Omega, the one who is. Basically, obviously, Darkseid. So this is basically stating that the Marvel universe, they're going to be destroyed by the Black Winter. That's going to be their end, whereas DC is going to be, Darkseid. So this is a little confusing. Is it stating that the Black Winter has something to do with Darkseid's ability to destroy, or end the DC universes, because it's influencing him or has some influence in it, or is Darkseid their representation of that? But it's still pretty impressive. It's interesting to see the connection between Marvel and DC. Doesn't mean anything really for the power scaling in this video, but it is pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty cool to talk about. After this, we have Thor helping out Galactus get devour the planets to get his power boost. Also, it does mention that Galactus states something about Thor being the one to defeat him, so he's wondering what's happening with that. And as they showcase here with Thor looking out, he says they will die, and yet a universe away there is Thor. So basically, Thor is going to these different planets, and he's trying to tell the people, he's telling Galactus, like, hey, look, man, I'm not going to let you just wipe these planets out. If you do some crazy shit, I'm going to fight back. And he does showcase that because he goes to a planet to basically tell the people, hey, you guys need to leave. This guy wants to eat, and he might devour you guys, so you need to leave before that. And Galactus is getting a little antsy, and he's like, I don't give a shit about these people. I'm just going to eat it. So Thor showcases his power and is able to destroy his leg, even though Galactus gave Thor his power. Thor is still able to hurt him and damage him due to the fact that he has his own power additionally with that. Unlike the other heralds of Galactus, not all of them, obviously Ghost Rider already had his own additional power with it, but most of them they got their power mostly from Galactus himself, whereas Thor has naturally all that power on himself. And he says, I remain a king and a god. So to showcase to him that even with Galactus's power, he can still surpass him. And as we see this is quite interesting because I do remember in Jobbers and Goons video, he did showcase one of the image panels where Thor gets hit in the back with a rock. It's weird to think that Thor would be out of reversal but can get damaged by a rock. And I saw this, and it does showcase that he did get hurt by the rock. It wasn't significant damage. I'm not trying to say that he got significantly hurt or it was going to kill him, but it did take him down and knock him off balance, and he did get, hurt a little. And he was even wondering what the hell was happening. It could have been just because he was caught off guard, but still, he was able to get hurt by it. And it showcases all the people going off on him and trying to attack him. Obviously, there's not going to severely hurt him, but the fact that it does anything to him is quite interesting to see. And we see Galactus getting pissed. He's just sick and tired of all this stuff. So he blows up. He just lets off a bunch of energy because Thor keeps on attacking him. And it sends out a huge explosion, wiping out the place. And as this is happening, Beta Ray Bill finds out that Thor is working with Galactus. He's wondering what the hell is happening. He's trying to stop them, and he's trying to attack Galactus. So he brings his warship to fire missiles at Galactus, which does do some damage to Galactus and even Thor. So Thor is not some unbeatable being, even with the cosmic power, because he was still hurt by this battleship. Though not significantly, you do see some damage with him bleeding a little bit from his mouth. And you see Beta Ray Bill there wondering what the hell is happening. Then him and Beta Ray Bill get into a scuffle back and forth. Now, Thor's obviously holding back because Beta Ray Bill doesn't know what's happening or why he's doing this, but Thor is also still trying to take him down. As this happens, he tries to attack him. Beta Ray Bill moves to the side and slams his face into a wall, which does do some damage. He's bleeding, and then Beta Ray Bill is able to hit him and send him flying. Now, I'm not saying that, Beta Ray Bill was able to seriously hurt him. I think the exact opposite, if I'm being honest. Beta Ray Bill, I don't think he's on Thor's level. Thor is obviously holding back, but he's still able to hurt him. Even with holding back, he shouldn't be able to, be getting damaged by him. I still do think that that's quite interesting to see. And sorry guys if I'm this a little janky, because the images that I take sometimes rearrange themselves in different ways, so it's never in the order that I took them in. Like, I go from the beginning to the end. It changes them around. Sorry if I get a little confused because I'm looking them up, and this is where I remembered, the information I have. So going back to it, at this point, Thor basically is helping out Galactus. He got all the 5 planets that he wanted, even though there was a bit of back and forth. Galactus, the last planet that they were on, Thor was really trying to stop him from destroying it, but he really just couldn't, and he ended up obliterating it and taking all the life forms out with it, even though they were willing to help. And Thor, as this happened, he's hurt because of this, because he wants to protect people, and so he cries and he literally threatens that Galactus that, hey, look, I need you right now to help to defeat this thing, but once we're done with this, I'm coming for you. Just you better watch. I'm coming for your ass too. So we're gonna see some crazy shit there. Now, as this is happening, and Galactus has absorbed all the 5 planets, gotten more powerful than he's ever has, gotten his power boost, the Black Winter has come, and the Black Winter has actually affected Yggdrasil, which is the tree that houses all the 9 or 10 realms in their worlds. And this is pretty interesting because this showcases, though, all the 10 realms are literally in danger. That's how powerful the Black Winter is. It's affected the Yggdrasil tree, which is a representation of, the tree that holds, or the branches that hold reality together. So basically with the arrival of the Black Winter, all of reality is now in danger, showcasing it that it's well beyond a universal threat at this point. So Yggdrasil rots, withers, and dies as the Black Winter blankets the heavens and searches of our reality. The ancient Norse would name it Fimbulwinter. So if you guys ever played God of War or know anything about Norse mythology, there's the whole Fimbulwinter. It comes in, and I think it lasts for 2 to 3 years, and then after the Fimbulwinter is over, that's when the start of Ragnarok happens. And then Loki with his I think it's his daughter Hela, they both bring their whole armies of the dead to go against all of Asgard, and this is the end of all the gods. And like I was saying, as Galactus, he needed the power to absorb to fight off the Black Winter. This was around the same time this was happening. Thor was trying to stop him, like, hey, you can't hurt these people. And as he was doing this, he was basically gathering all of his power and all the cosmic power that he had to attack Galactus, because he was towards the end. And it stated that it could even shatter entire continents, the power that he was drawing in. So the power alone from him drawing it in could destroy continents, which isn't too crazy, but still pretty impressive. As he's doing this, Galactus is also getting his power from the core itself, and then he finally becomes fully charged Galactus, which Thor was just not happy with. And then after this, the Black Winter comes in, introduces itself, and then it basically explains something pretty interesting to Galactus. It states that Galactus is actually not the original one who had the power cosmic. It was actually the Black Winter. So the Black Winter is an entity that housed the cosmic energy and had it prior to Galactus. So what happened was, as Galactus was looking out for the universe and stuff like that, the Black Winter came in, wiped out that universe, and the reason why Galactus survived wasn't because Galactus was just very powerful. Galactus survived because the Black Winter allowed him and basically turned Galactus into his herald. So Galactus all along was a herald himself, a herald of the Black Winter, and as this happened, he got his power cosmic and he ran away, and then basically, committed treason, because what the Black Winter does, just like how Galactus has heralds to, locate for different planets so he can devour it, the Black Winter does the same thing, but on a far bigger scale, with it being universes. So the Black Winter basically created Galactus to be his herald, which showcases how powerful he is, that from his own power cosmic that he had, he created Galactus, who is considered the champion of the power source itself, but it was just given to him by, the Black Winter, and his job was to locate universes to give him power. So his own herald needs planets to fuel him, whereas he himself needs universes to fuel him. So he is obviously on the highest level of, the cosmic energy on the scalings. So that was just impressive to see that, Galactus was basically his herald, and he devours universes just like how he devours planets. So like I said, easily he's beyond universal level of he just devours them just to replenish his power. And it also makes Galactus less impressive because it's like, obviously he survived the Black Winter because he allowed him to, and he didn't really survive the end of the universe. The Black Winter basically gave him the power to do so. But then after this, Thor is just done with Galactus. He's like, you know what? You've lied to me. You've taken over these planets. You destroyed them. I'm sick and tired of you. So Galactus is like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of you too. You keep on giving me attitude, talking about, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Who the hell do you think you are to tell me what to do? So as this happens, they both break down and start fighting each other. Galactus starts fighting Thor, but as Galactus finds out, Thor, not only was he able to use the power cosmic that was given to him, but he was able to master it to the point where he can actually take the power from Galactus. So whereas other heralds of his, they've been able to use his power against him to defeat him before, this is a little bit more different, since Thor not only used the power to defeat him, but he used the power to basically steal the power from him. So as he does this, he fights him, and then he says, my power. And then Thor states, I have taken it, as I have taken the power of cosmic held inside all of you shall before. So basically, Galactus is wondering, what the hell's happening? What's happened to my power? And Thor basically states, I took literally all of your power. He didn't take some, he took all of it. So now Thor not only has the Thor Force, and not only is he the king of Asgard, but he also has all of the power cosmic that Galactus had. So he has Galactus's power with additional power that Galactus gave him on top of it. And this is even more impressive due to the fact that this is not just a regular Galactus's power. This is an amped and amplified Galactus that had, an insane power boost from these 5 planets that was supposed to be able to somewhat match, the Black Winter. So he was able to absorb this power boost Galactus and add it to his own, making him even more impressively powerful. And we see what Thor is able to do with this power. He said, but the Winter, Thor, we must defeat it. And he said, I'll deal with it. So he says he's going to deal with it himself, stating that with that power alone, he's comparable or above the Black Winter, and he doesn't need him, and he showcases that by throwing Mjolnir through him, basically destroying him and killing him. And now he fights against the Black Winter as Black Winter is trying to take over him. And we see right here as Thor is fighting him off, he says, as what, because Black Winter is trying to change him and say, hey, why don't you join me? You work for Galactus, why don't you work for me? And he says, as what, a trophy, a slave, what should you have, Galactus, the world of eaters, serve you as long, little god, tell me. Galaxies away, children wake up, screams the sound of thunder. The voices roar across the void. So basically, Thor's power that he gained from Galactus, he uses it to fight back the Black Winter, and by doing so, by letting out that power alone, galaxies away can feel his power, and the children wake up from it, from the scream that is, echoing throughout the void itself from his, insane power. And they stayed further on that there was lightning and burning inside of the fall mighty, the measure of power cosmic, the bleeding life force of universal constant, the energy of 100,000 devoured worlds. So basically, like I said, he took all of Galactus' power. So it showcases, it states right here, the power cosmic, which basically is the lifeblood of, the cosmic universal constant, and he was able to draw it all out, which was all the power that Galactus has absorbed throughout the years, hundreds of thousands of worlds. He was able to release all that power at once to fight off the Black Winter. And as he does, he literally obliterates the Black Winter, killing it. So he destroyed the Black Winter by gathering all of his power and then unleashing it and obliterating it right after. So this was the end of the first arc that he had with the Black Winter story. Not only did so a couple interesting things happen. One, Galactus made Thor into his herald, so he got the power cosmic. Two, we got introduced to the Black Winter, and the Black Winter is stated to be destroying universes, even the DC universe, and considered devourer of worlds, just like how Galactus is considered the devourer of planets and stuff like that. He's literally the devourer of universes. So it's literally actual worlds that he devours as a whole. And then after this, we see Thor helping him out, Galactus getting his boost from the 5 planets. Then we see we see Black Winter explaining that Galactus was his herald, showcasing how powerful Black Winter is because he had Galactus as his herald and used him to find other universes for him to devour. Then we see Thor being able to use the power cosmic and manipulate it better than even Galactus and absorb all of Galactus's power and then destroy Galactus, then also destroy the Black Winter by letting out an energy that goes throughout the entire universe. So he wiped out Black Winter, meaning he's above him in terms of power, and he released all the power that Galactus had saved up throughout all the years that he's been, absorbing planets. So it's insane. So now we're going to go into the Donald Blake story arc. So we start off with Thor going to Loki for help because he's wondering what's happening. He's found out recently that, his hammer is not responding to him. It's not coming to his command as much, and he seems to be losing the power to be able to wield Mjolnir. And he's wondering what's happening, so he's asking Loki. And Donald Blake at this time has been dealing with magic, and he got insane magical power alone by himself. And they're wondering what's happening because he's kind of running amok. And as Thor is asking Loki about the hammer, Loki explains to him, go to the Elder Sleep where you can communicate with the spirits and the old dead kings. Anyone can pick up Mjolnir. The ancient Asgardian magics are coming apart at the seams. Someone is or something is destroying destiny, and you want answers. So basically what's happening is Thor was losing his ability to control the power of his hammer, his own hammer. He couldn't use it, but other people could. And he's wondering what's happening. So Loki explains to him that the old magics that was used by the Asgardians, the ancient magics, it's kind of getting, unraveled and destroyed. Basically, he stated something is destroying destiny itself, which is Donald Blake. Now, is Donald Blake destroying it through his own power? No. When you see the actual story and you read it, it's due to what he's doing, but not his power alone that's destroying it. It's the events that are leading up to that are basically disrupting the magical balance and natural life, way like life is set up. So by doing this, as he's messing with destiny, it's messing with the ancient enchantments given by the Asgardians, i.e. Odin, that was put up a place upon it, is now breaking in. Thor can't use it, but others can. So he's trying to find out what's happening. As he does this, we see more of Don Blake's crazy power, and we get explanation on what happened. So Don Blake was mad at Odin for creating him and then just having him be a nobody. So as he's doing this, he wants to get revenge. And as this happens, we get explanation from the World Serpent, because Thor goes to Earth to find where Don Blake is, but the neighborhood he goes to is all destroyed. It's black, it's smoky, it's red, there's blood, there's dead bodies. He's wondering what happened, and then we see the World Serpent dead, or dying there, destroyed. And as he's dying, he explains to Thor what happened. He said, I offered him power to share and mine to be at my side, two shadows to fight the gold and the thunder god together. So basically, the World Serpent wanted revenge against Thor and against Odin. So he was going to work with Don Blake, because Don Blake had problems too. So he was giving him his power. But what happened was it kind of turned wrong, because he says right here, and he took my power, but with it he discovered the Odin force within himself as well, and with the roaring fire of both the god and dragon inside of him. So what happened was, since Don Blake was created by Odin, he basically has Odin's power and magic imbued in him, because he's not a regular human being, he's a magically constructed being. But the way it worked was, Thor was basically turned into him when he would be powerless. So he would basically have that power within him, but he could never exert it out, because he was just supposed to be a regular powerless human. Until the World Serpent, who is Thor's rival, came to him and gave him some power, because he knows he can't beat him at this point, because Thor is way more powerful. And as he gave him his power, this unlocked the natural Odin force within him, because he was created from Odin's force itself. And this made him go from a being that had no power, that was created by Odin, to being able to use that Odin's power. So not only is he using the World Serpent's magic, but he's also using Odin's magic and combining it together to create an insane amount of power. That's why Don Blake is so crazy powerful in the story event, and that's why the magic is coming unraveling as it seems, and Destiny is being destroyed, because this is not supposed to happen. So it's not that he's so powerful that he's destroying Destiny, it's the fact that these events are not supposed to happen. He's not supposed to have that power. So he had the mix of the dragon, the World Serpent's power, and the mix of basically Odin force itself. And as he does this, he goes to Asgard. He wipes the floor with all the Asgardians with just a pocket knife. He basically bodies them all, showcasing his insane strength. Then he comes back as Thor is now looking for him, and he finds Sif, and Thor's trying to go after him, but he gets imprisoned. And as he gets imprisoned, Don Blake goes after Doctor Strange and actually destroys Doctor Strange. And even Doctor Strange says, he handled me like I was a child, showcasing insane level of power. The fact that he has Odin Force, the World Serpent's power, showcases he got an insane power boost. And he was not only able to beat all the Asgardians by himself, minus Thor, but he was also able to easily manhandle, the Sorcerer Supreme by himself, like a child. And as he does this, he goes to the world tree, so he goes to Yggdrasil. He's getting infected, and he starts destroying Yggdrasil, and it starts oozing out some liquid, lava looking thing. Now this is important because he's destroying the world tree that holds in the 10 realms. This might make people believe that he's beyond realms and stuff like that, but personally I don't think destroying the Yggdrasil tree is that impressive. It does house the other realms, but that doesn't mean that it's as equivalent to that power, or the power that it takes to obtain to hold those realms. I think to destroy the Yggdrasil tree is not that difficult, and it's clearly he's infecting the tree. That's why it's easier to destroy. So I wouldn't give it so much of he's just beyond 10 realms. He's definitely beyond universal, because if he's a threat to Thor at this point, he should be at universal levels of power at least. And then we see more of his power as he starts to shapeshift and transform. Thor tries to attack him. He grabs him, beats him up, and this is where he throws him into the other dimension. He says to him, where I was right, it took me a really long time to reach this universe. I had to travel here one particular at a time. I watched as the people of Alfheim peacefully got alone. I got honestly to say I was worried. As you can see the word electrical violence and stuff. So basically he explains himself that he was able to come to Asgard. So with this power up and this power boost, now he's able to go through dimensions and realities throughout his, his power alone. So he went from Midgard all the way to Asgard, and he said he was going from universe to universe. So he was universe hopping. We don't know if he was opening up portals or just going through speed, but he just throw Thor away, and he beats him pretty easily as this is happening. And then we see a little bit of him fighting him, and he states right here, this is a building nicely a little longer, and I'll be able to bridge these realities. So at this point, he was able to showcase that he could bridge realities too. So I think he was trying to bridge either Midgard and Asgard or Alfheim or whatever, one of the dimensions, but he was able to bridge dimensions due to his Odin Force, because Odin Force connects to the other realms. So due to having Odin Force, he can bridge realms together, which is still pretty impressive. And by doing this, by bridging the realms, he was able to create a mini realm that he could throw Thor into so he could stop him. So he created a dimension that could prevent Thor from coming out. Though he does towards the end, he does stop him for quite a bit. He said, and by sending your essence across reality, I'm poisoning that other version of you. You will know nothing but hate and fear. So he basically was able to create the bridge between these two realities, banish Thor's, basically his essence throughout these realities, and as he does this, it affects Thor and makes it a mentality and makes him more aggressive and more hateful. He also brings out an old warrior with him, and he says, this is what I brought him for I'm here to eat the corpse of your universe. So he has gained so much power that he was able to resurrect a dead being. I don't know who he is, but he has him to fight for him so he can eat the corpse of their universe. By him doing this, the universe is getting destroyed by him destroying the Yggdrasil tree, and then he's going to devour it. So he can devour universes too. But as this is happening, he sends over his guy against Thor. Thor easily beats him. It was not even close of a fight. And then as Thor is in the dimension, he's trying to break out. And as he was calling out for his father, he's calling out Odin. He's like, I need your help me out of this dimension. He was able to gather all of his energy and power and condense it once again. And as he does it, it states, and indeed the thunder echoed across the infinite canyons of the realms, and a beacon of bright as bright as the sun, so that Thor could finally be found. So he was trying to get his two ravens to find him and locate him. So he released all of his thunder and his energy, and basically the thunder echoed across the infinite canyons of 10 realms. So basically throughout all the 10 realms, his energy was able to radiate throughout them, and it was able to grow so bright, it was as bright as a star. So this is impressive because with him releasing his power, all of his power alone was so powerful enough to send his energy and shockwaves across all the 10 realms completely, and even grow as bright as a star itself to bring him to him. Basically after that, he gets let out, and then he fights him, he beats him. There's nothing really impressive with the way he beats Don Blake. All we see is basically he overpowers him, and Odin comes and they basically beat him. And then he gets imprisoned in the same imprisonment that Loki had been for quite a while, where he basically had snake venom dropped into his eyes to torture him. But then after that, we have a little mini story with Thor and his sister and his mom, who left the place. And there's nothing really that interesting there, but she does mention that he fought the Phoenix Force, and this was explained in issue number 42 of the Avengers, which happened in 2021. I didn't go to that event, like I said, because from what I saw, it was actually quite long. It was multiple issues, and I already did a bunch of these issues. I don't want to go through all of them. If you guys wanted me to make a video of that, I could do that, but I'm really not going to. I will read the Avengers comics from the 2018 one, because I did see it was pretty interesting. But I did want to let you guys know that he did fight the Phoenix Force, and he was able to handle it and beat it. Then after this, we have Thor having a problem with his hammer again fully. This is where we have the God of Hammers story event happening, where Mjolnir is now not only disobeying him, but it's actually attacking him. So he has to fight against Mjolnir, and he's wondering what the hell's happening with it. Apparently, we get find out a story that a long time ago, Odin, he was fighting against this thing called, like, I forgot what it was called, but it was an electric storm. So it was known as this powerful electric storm. And as Odin defeated it, he transferred that storm entity and put it into Mjolnir. So Mjolnir was always sentient because it had the power from this lightning or a thunder beast that basically infected it. And now Thor had to fight against it to get back Mjolnir. And as he does this, he constructs electricity sword, which is pretty cool. He's able to create like a thunder or lightning sword. So even without Mjolnir, he can still control lightning and create like weapons out of it. So he's fighting this lightning being, but it's not really doing any damage. And the lightning being says something that's quite interesting. It says, no one can outrun the lightning, which is really weird to say, that no one can outrun the lightning, because I'm pretty sure Thor is faster than light itself, and light is faster than lightning. Maybe this is talking about magical lightning, that it's, faster than regular, so that could be a thing there. So after this, Odin comes in to save Thor. He's like, okay, I have to make up for my mistake. He comes in to save him, and he basically grabs Mjolnir and throws it as far as he can. He says right here, Sif just sent that thing beyond the furthest point of known existence, an endless abyss beyond the eyes of even the most ancient, abstract, primordial gods. It plays so remote and far that there is no way of calculating its distance. And then it comes back. It literally comes back like in a couple of seconds and hits him in the back, destroying his back. So we're just like, what the hell just happened? Now this is pretty interesting. So Sif, since she's now the new, basically, we had before, I forgot what his name was. I don't know how I forgot. But she basically controls the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge. So she's able to connect to any of the realms and then transport things to there, or transport people, or move through there, or see through there, right? As she does this, she tries to find the furthest realm possible to get rid of it so it can give them time. So he stays right here. He sent the thing beyond the furthest point of known existence. So it's so far beyond, is beyond the point of known existence. So it's outside of the realms. And then it sails into an endless abyss beyond the eyes of even the most ancient, abstract, and primordial gods. So even the abstract and primordial gods, the most ancient ones, is beyond even their own eyes. So they can't even see through their own, divine or highly dimensional, eyesight or presence, right? And it was an unknown distance, and it was stated to, be in a remote place that's so way out of calculating its distance. So it's so far out that you can't even calculate it. Now you can argue maybe it's an infinite distance away, or an incalculable distance away, and it came back. So you can argue that it can move that speeds, that it's so fast that it can move from an incalculable distance of speed or distance to come there in an instant. So I don't know where this would put it in incalculable. Like I said, I don't really talk about those that much, incalculable or infinite, whatever, but it does put in those high tiers of speed. But you could also kind of argue that since Mjolnir has the ability to open up holes to other dimensions, it could have just simply opened up the hole, a hole from that dimension to theirs, and just came back. So it probably just knew its way back, opened up a portal, and then flew through the portal coming back. So it could kind of cut through the hole just going through it. So it really depends on that, If it flew purely, you can argue it's a calculable speed or a measurable speed, and that's how fast the Thor's hammer was. Or you could argue that it could have just known where it was and then opened up a portal to it and came back. So it just used a portal to transport itself back, meaning that it wasn't that fast. So whatever could be the case, but whatever it was able to come back and take out Odin. And as this happened, Odin explains something to Thor. He explains to him that when I gave up my power, or gave up my ranking as king, and you became the king of Asgard, you got the Odin force and became the Thor force, right? But he also explains even further and deeper that the fact that him giving him the throne does not give him the full Odin force, because the fact that he's still alive he still has his own Odin force. It's just that he's a lot weaker. And he explains to him the only way for him to give him 100% of his Odin force or relinquish it completely is for him to die. So he basically dies at this point and gives him all of it. He said, the Odin Force boy, it can be given in full. So he admits himself that he gave him full power of the Odin Force. And as he does this, it transforms Thor, I think, into the God of Hammers. That's what I've heard. But it turns him to a golden Thor, which is pretty impressive. He's like, now we put the hammer down. And he has his own sword of light. As he fights a Mjolnir, he shatters it and destroys it. And he just beats the thunder being. So as this story event happens, he gets even more power because not only does he get the full Odin Force, but he does get, Mjolnir back. It's reconstructed. Now his father's inside it, so his guidance is in there and is powered by Odin himself, his spirit. And lightning spirit that he fought, he actually absorbs it into himself. So now Thor has the full force of the Odin Force, a newly constructed Mjolnir, and has the full energy of this lightning construct. And as we see this, we see the funeral for Odin, and it's so impressive that you see, beings from all these other different realms. Even the frost giants are there, and you see the Watchers there, or at least one of the Watchers, and you even see Celestials in the background. So Odin was this respected in terms of his power and his ruling as a king, that even beings from outside the realms, even gods like the Watchers and Celestials, who were highly powerful beings, were there to attend his funeral. Now we get towards the I think it was called the Black Infinity Stone arc, where Thor is now, he's bringing out his story and what he's going to be doing. And this is where we get a little bit more explanation of the primal gods, the ancient titans, the beings before the gods. It says right here, first there were titans, the elder gods of the ancient giants, the Black Winter, the god Tempest, the king in black, the phoenix, the dark, the light, the blood, the fire, and So these beings basically predate all the other beings and gods. They were the first titans. They were before the elder gods and the ancient giants. They were before the Black Winter. They were before the god Tempest, which I think that I don't know what the god Tempest is, to be honest. They were before the King in Black, which I'm pretty sure that was Null. Now currently Venom, Eddie Brock's Venom, and the Phoenix. So even the Phoenix Force. So these, if you consider those entities very powerful, these entities were beyond that. And as you can see, these entities are so powerful that they were using the planets to smack each other with, and they were firing off energy attacks, destroying planets, wiping out the dinosaurs, and you just see multiple cataclysms destroying everything. And it said billion years ago they set off like planets colliding into each other, then set off a big asteroid hitting the Earth, basically wiping out the dinosaurs itself. And also, I forgot to mention, when Thor was fighting his battery build, they both go all out, hit each other with their hammers. The power is so powerful, it shows an explosion that destroys half of the planet. The whole planet's pretty destroyed, but the explosion shows half of the planet at least being obliterated instantly. And then we get to the I guess a bit of the Black Infinity Stone / Thanos story arc, where we have Doom showing up in it, and he caught Hela somehow. He caught her, and there's some interesting explanation that states. Now I did, in this one I didn't take too many images because there wasn't any impressive feats from Thor or anybody really in this. The only impressive feat I saw was Doom capturing Hela and the statement that she makes to him. But besides that, there was nothing else. It's not that I'm leaving anything out, it's just that there was nothing too crazy, because it just started and hasn't finished. It says right here, dying without it's dead. So basically he took Hela away from hell, and the dead are roaming free and they don't know what to do with hell, and he basically ruining the cosmology of existence. And she says, it takes a great power to break a soul apart. The embers of mine and burn it's powerful. It stems from the shell of the Galactus seed. I don't know what the Galactus seed is, but it seems pretty powerful. It says the seed that birthed the universe we know it. So this Galactus seed basically is the embers of all the souls that she has that are torn apart, and has birthed the universe itself. So the Galactus seed is what created the new universe. But if you want to sacrifice them all, the embers alone will stand strong enough to need the shell itself. So he basically kidnapped her and took the seed to create. He wanted to create a better world, a world throughout his own image, so he can, fight off all the evils of the gods and humanity, and just make a better, more pure world. So by doing so. So that was pretty much it for that for Cosmic King Thor's story. I know it was a little jumbled, like I said. The images that I take, they're not in any particular order. They're in some order, but some of them are misplaced, so I had to go back and forth. So there's a bit of editing I had to do to make that fit in. But let's get into how powerful is Thor. Well, Thor had multiple power-ups in this comic book event. He first started off as the King of Asgard. He had his Thor Force, which he got from the Odin Force by Odin relinquishing his title, but not the full one. So he had that power. Then he had the Power Cosmic added to his power set because of Galactus. Then we see the furthering of that power set due to Galactus, absorbing those 5 worlds that would give him enough power to at least fight back against, Black Winter. But as this happened, Thor took all of his power. So not only did he take all of Galactus's, cosmic power, but his amp power on top of it. So he had the amped cosmic power of all of the cosmic energy that Galactus has had on top of him, and he was able to do that. With that, he was able to wipe out the Black Winter, which devours universes and is beyond universal level. So he was able to destroy that. And then we get into the next story event with him against Donald Blake. Basically, he didn't do anything. I don't remember him gaining any real absurd power against Donald Blake. He did break out and showcase his power with, letting his energy out, but he didn't really get any real insane power after that. But after this, when we get into the event where he fights against the cosmic sphere thingy, he basically gets another big power amp by having Odin give him all the Odin Force, having the energy spirit within him now, becoming this new version of Thor, and having the reconstructed Mjolnir with his father inside. And this is basically led up to fighting against Thanos. Thanos. So, how powerful is Cosmic King Thor? I don't know where Jobbers and Goons got him being outerversal or even multiversal or being that ridiculously powerful. I'll put him at universal plus to multiple universes. He can destroy a couple of universes, but to put him at outerversal, I think that's ridiculous. And now if you want to put him as a crazy speed feat, I know Mjolnir is the one that flies, but remember, he swings it and moves himself with it. So technically he's moving with that. So with the movement of Mjolnir, you can argue he's immeasurable or incalculable speeds, because of coming between those dimensions and what was stated by Odin. Or you can make an argument that it just opened up a portal so it could come through those to come into that world. So it wasn't really technically going at that speed, but still, that's where I would put it. Personally, I don't know where to put his full attributes. I think I will put his strength and his durability equivalent. So basically beyond universal, so either universal plus or multiple universes. His durability and his strength are on that level. I think that also his energy levels should be at that level. But his speed, that's the only one where it's kind of iffy on where it is. But is he as powerful as Jobbers and Goons stated? No. But has he gotten impressive power-ups and power boosts that can make him more powerful? Yes. But does it put him at that level? No. It just hasn't been from what it was shown. So when I did this, I didn't see anything that would put him at that, absurd of levels in power for me, at least. So I would cap him off at, multi-universal. He can destroy a couple universes at max, which is not outerversal at all. So I do think Jobbers and Goons is over-exaggerating. If Goku got the Power Cosmic, I think he would have been even more powerful than Thor with Power Cosmic, and I think Goku would have been able to absorb all the Power Cosmic and do the same thing with what he did, where he absorbed all of his power and just obliterated him. So I could definitely see Goku outmatching him and being the strongest herald to ever exist. But yeah, he's stronger than Galactus with that power. He's stronger than the Black Winter, which could even wipe out, the DC universe itself. So yeah. I wonder how powerful do you guys think he is from what I've shown? Do you guys think I'm right? Or do you think I'm just, don't understand what I read or misinterpreted? But that's what I saw him capped off as. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it and stay tuned for next time.